Welcome to the ArmaniTalks YouTube channel, the #1 YouTube channel to help you level up your communication skills, learn the art of public speaking, social skills, and digital content creation to take your message to the world. If you're new to this channel, don't forget to hit subscribe right on below for the latest videos regarding how you can learn to communicate with confidence and charisma. For today's episode, we're going to be entering the world of Toastmasters. If you've never heard of Toastmasters before, I don't know if you've been living under a rock. Like, what's wrong with you? Nah, I'm just kidding. But if you haven't heard of Toastmasters, let me give you a little refresher on it. So public speaking is the #1 fear in the world. And Toastmasters, in my eyes, is the #1 public speaking club in the world. And notice, I said world, not state, not country, not continent, but the entire planet. There's people from all around the globe that are a part of this prestigious club. And it's beautiful because the cool thing about Toastmasters is that it follows a similar format in its meetings. So a lot of the tips that I'm giving you today, it doesn't matter where you're from, you're going to be able to apply it. Now, there's different speaking opportunities in Toastmasters. You have the table topics where it's impromptu speaking for roughly 1 to 2 minutes. You have the planned speeches, and that depends on the current path that you're taking in your Toastmasters journey. And then you have the evaluations. Personally speaking, I think evaluators have one of the most important jobs in Toastmaster. Hands down, it's one of the most important jobs, mainly because you're having a huge impact in someone else's speaking career, okay? Someone else's Toastmasters journey. If you're too nice, if you're too positive and you're sugarcoating, then guess what? You're reinforcing bad habits. But if you're like too mean, okay, if you're just criticizing the person nonstop, now you're hurting their self-esteem, and guess what? They may quit. So I don't want you falling into either one of those realms. I want you to be right in the middle, and that's exactly what this video is going to teach you today. And just a quick little heads up, the tips that I give you in this video, it doesn't just end with Toastmasters. It's actually something that could be applied in all facets of your life. Because let's be real, there's been a few times where we've been given criticism, but it wasn't delivered in the best of way. Or we've been guilty of delivering criticism in a very socially unintelligent way before. So the tips that I'm giving you today can be applied in the public speaking world and the social skills world. So let's get started. So here's the thing. As an evaluator, depending on the speaker and the current path that they are on, and path is basically short for pathways. Nowadays, Toastmasters switched up their format where speakers can choose different paths, such as comedy, such as dynamic leadership, such as collaboration, okay? Depending on the path they choose, they'll have a certain evaluation for their evaluator, okay? So they'll give you a set of guidelines that you have to look out for, all right? So you're not going to be completely swinging it. They're going to give you a form of what you have to look out for during their presentation, okay? So that's the good part. Like, the content it's going to be there for you, and it's going to be structured out that you can write. But the delivery is completely on you. And here's the thing, with evaluators, you don't have like a week or 2 weeks to prepare like the planned speeches. You hear the speech in that meeting and you design your evaluation that meeting, okay? So if you're lost on delivery, I want you to try out this framework. I call it the sandwich method, okay? The sandwich method, also the hamburger method. All right, I'm getting hungry right now. But here's how it works. So you start off in a positive note, okay? You start off in a positive note, then you insert your critique, and then you wrap up on a positive note. Rocket science, right? But let's put it to practice. I often hear the question, well, Arman, what if the speaker sucked? I mean, they didn't really have that much good stuff for their speech. What do I do then? In that scenario, what you have to do is commend them for getting on stage. Listen, a lot of people, they don't even have the courage to step inside a Toastmasters meeting, let alone on the stage. So give them props for that. Make them feel like a star, okay? When you open on a positive note versus just critiquing them from the get-go, what happens is you bypass their ego and you enter their heart, okay? So warm them up first. Now, once you've opened it up on a good note, what you want to do next is now you want to give the areas of improvement. Notice, I didn't say weaknesses. I've seen evaluators that say, oh, well, this was your weakness, and this was your weakness, and this was your weakness. Well, if you do that, then that positive note you started off with starts becoming hindered. Okay, so say areas of improvement. It makes the other person feel more empowered to do something about it. Okay, now once you've entered your critiques, I want you to wrap it up again on a positive note. Okay, it's basically like rewording the first part in a different way. That's about it. That's how you deliver a solid evaluation. See, here's the thing. I remember when I first started my Toastmasters journey, I was assigned a very grizzled veteran Toastmasters. I mean, he was in the club for, I think like 20 plus years or so, and he was mean. Let's just say it like that. He was very, very mean, and he didn't follow this framework at all. He literally just tore into me. He says, well, this was weak, this wasn't good, this wasn't good, this was bad too, oh, this was bad. Now that I think about it, he didn't actually say one single good thing about my speech. And I worked my ass off for that speech. It was my first ever speech, and it hurt my feelings, you know? But here's the thing. I was able to bounce back from it. That Toastmasters, I mean, he actually motivated me like none other. And instead of quitting, I decided to actually apply his tips, double down, and go 10 times harder. But here's the thing. Not everyone is like that, okay? I've seen a lot of people that just quit because their evaluator was too hard on them and they got too discouraged. So I want you to understand, just because you think you're mentally tough, which you probably are, don't assume that everyone else is mentally tough as well. My framework for evaluating a speech, it's perfect because it speaks to all kinds of humans. Okay, it speaks to all kinds of humans. And especially when someone's getting started, you want them to feel empowered to keep on going. Okay, even if they understand certain flaws, they're not getting discouraged, they're still going. All right. Now here's the cool part. Once the meeting is wrapping up, the club actually votes on who was the best evaluator. So I want you to apply these tips and win a ribbon, okay? I want you to win a best evaluator ribbon. That shouldn't be your main concern, but it wouldn't hurt. You know, it wouldn't hurt if you do end up getting one. Now, the cool thing is, being a good evaluator in Toastmasters allows you to become a really great evaluator with your friends. I mean, how often has it been when you went out of your way to help someone with something and it didn't really go as expected and they automatically open with criticizing you? It's not fun, right? So I want you to apply these tips with others as well. Okay, not just on the stage, but in life as a whole. And you'll understand that communication skills start to spill over into different parts. Now, if you enjoyed today's video, make sure you sign up for my free daily newsletter where I drop public speaking tips like this on the daily. Okay, I drop so many public speaking tips, not only from Toastmasters, but from speaking in keynote speeches, from conferences, from my undergrad life. I give you so much perspective to make sure that you are handling every public speaking opportunity with grace and charisma. Make sure you subscribe right on below so you don't miss out on this opportunity. Thank you, my friend, for joining the ArmaniTalks YouTube channel. I will catch you on the next episode.